Hey there everybody, this is Gokai Spartan. I just wanted to say a quick thank you for everybody that engages with the channel, everybody that, follows the lore for Power Rangers Ultimate Universe, Power Rangers Shattered Grid Redux. This is a dream come true of mine. I've been wanting to do this since 2009. And honestly, it's been a long ride ever since January up until now. It's been a whole year I've been doing this, and I love what I do. I wouldn't trade it for the world. And honestly, this is just beautiful. And lately, just more or less, I want to cover a couple of things real quick. I'm gonna go over the people who want to be Power Rangers. Alright, so this is the deal, guys. Like most of my characters said, most of the characters said in the other videos that I posted, it's like this. I have several teams lined up. The animal team, and there's several teams that's going to be, I have several teams lined up, and there's several teams that's going to be remixed, like newer versions of them, like, for instance, new generation. For instance, I'm going to make a new generation of Ninja Storm Rangers. I'm looking for people that want to be Ninja Storm Rangers. Alright, my reason for making a new team of Ninja Storm Rangers is because, like, there needs to be a new generation of Rangers. I figured, like, yeah, there'd be some people with the power, but what if, like, Shane, Tori, and Dustin were, like, teachers? And Hunter and Blake were a teacher, Cam, they're all teachers, because that's what they became at the end of it. So there should be a new generation of Ninja Storm. Be a whole team of Ninja Storm Rangers and a whole team of Thunderstorm Rangers. I got that lined up. That's planned up in mind. I need people to be SPD because I plan on making a whole Pat Ranger team for SPD, because the Lupin Rangers is the flawless military essentially. So SPD is going to be the Pat Rangers, because at some point the conflict with SPD and the flawless military is still going to be somewhat a thing with some of the members and some of them not. But that's going to be a thing. Boom Boomja, that's Justin's team right there. Justin the Blue Ranger from Turbo. I still need at least 6 people for that team, which that's basically like a combination of Zeo and Turbo's powers. That's why I got it canonically in there. Saber, Swarm, I do need that team. I'm not sure entirely which commander of the flawless military is going to take that role. I'm still thinking. It could be Syx, it could be Littlefinger, I don't know yet. Primal Fury, I also need people from that team. The Red Ranger is kind of already set in stone. That's going to be my friend Uno. You already seen him in the episode. He's in the background of the episode with the Blazing Lion. He's playing with the Blazing Lion. That's him. He's going to be the Red Ranger. But I need other people to be other Rangers. And I'm also going to make a next generation for Wild Force, because instead of me having to explain and use Ricardo Medina's character uncomfortably, because I'm uncomfortable using that man for a character, especially after what he did, I'm just going to make another team for Wild Force as well. Whereas the Wild Zords are going to connect to new people and stuff like that, and the Wild Force Rangers are going to be living their lives. Like, they're still going to appear. Like, Zanaku, like, you see him there. Like, that's my man's Dark Side Hero from TikTok. He's definitely going to be a part of the jungle-themed storyline and stuff like that. But I still need members for Jew, Eagle, Elephant, Shark, Cat, and Lion. And I don't need a Judo Weldo, but basically that's what I need for the animal team. Also need people to be Galactic Transit Rangers. I'm not exactly sure what the team I'm going to make for the Tokyugers, like the name of the team for instance, but I already got my friend Brandon lined up for the Purple Ranger. He's actually a train conductor in real life, so he's going to be the Purple Ranger, but I still need someone to fill the ranks of red, blue, yellow, pink, green, orange, and if I make any other colors, that color as well. The Go-Jugers, I don't need nobody to be Go-Jugers. I have my ideas for that, for the Giga Force team, and both mediums for both Ultra and Shattered Grid Redux, because there will be 2 variants of them. So, yeah. So I already have a team for that. The Crystal Break Rangers, they're going to be a team based off of another Zeo Crystal. It's going to be an even more powerful Zeo Crystal, and it's going to make another team of Crystallized Rangers. So, I need people to be that team as well. Let me see. I might do, and also, I'm making up teams too. I'm making up Power Rangers and Kamen Riders. For the Kamen Riders, because now Kamen Riders is a thing. Because people could be chosen to be Kamen Riders. And with the Kamen Riders, they don't necessarily have to be tied to the flawless military. It can kind of be their own thing, because the Rider Belts choose. So, more or less, for Kamen Riders, I kind of want people to come up with their own versions of the Kamen Riders, or me and you could come up with the Kamen Riders together. Therefore, like, because I kind of already know and have an idea of what I want to do with all the main Kamen Riders. So if you want to be a Kamen Rider that's out there, but you kind of got to come with your own idea if you want to be a Kamen Rider. And we'll make that happen. Now, I still need people to be Rangers. You know what? Nobody wants to be a villain, so I'm just going to scrap the villain part, because nobody wants to be a villain. I don't know why. I like villains. I love villains, but it's whatever. But yeah, so now, so this year coming up is basically going to be season 2, because basically at the end of the Christmas episode, that's essentially going to be like basically the end of season 1, because what I didn't realize is I have a whole season's worth of content. If we take the beginning where it was the beginning where the grid got hacked, the Abyss of Evil opened, Westeros got conquered by Rogexio, and she brought people back to life, the Star Force Rangers introduction, SPD versus the Flawless Military, the Crash Outs wiping out Megaforce, Cosmic Fury, and all the other teams, the Winterfell special, Hikagen going back into the past, the Tommy Chase special, the Dark Derivative arc that came after that, and then the Huntress arc. Yeah, that's a whole season of Power Rangers right there that I created. Oh yeah, if we add the Dual Rangers and Pirate Raid, because those are literally just like about a good 5 episodes right there. You squish those in the middle of it, that's the whole season of Power Rangers right there. And this season is a little bit weird because we're not following one Power Ranger team. We're following so many different characters here, there, and that. And that's how I like to do things, because my passion comes from mixing and mashing. I'm a multiverse guy. I love making multiverse content. I love saying, let's see. And that's just what I'm going to do. And it's going to be here for the long haul for a while. It's going to be up for a while. I guess I could go over a quick little overview over what happened in the last couple of chapters, because I tried to do an overview video before, but I never uploaded it. So I'm really sure to try to go through this right now. So, towards the end of the Tommy arc, where Tommy's finally back with his team, but it's only like half of Tommy and the rest of them are kind of out there. Lord Draken and Hikagen are kind of buds now, because in the Shattered Grid Redux universe, they were friends. And in this universe, they're still going to be friends. Whether, like, that dynamic's going to be an interesting one with Tommy and Draken. And Joker is added into the mix, because Batman is helping the Flawless Military. He's been in contact with Beatrice Gravestone on the low. Little did Sky Tate know, because Sky Tate got mad at him for talking to Rogexio because SPD don't like the Flawless Military. But it was Superman who was the one who was negotiating with Rogexio, even though Batman talks to her too. Batman was really there for Beatrice, because those two are kind of like getting to know each other. Kind of got like this little romance thing going on with that. So Joker kind of wants to cause problems for the DC universe, and seeing as Hikagen's success rate is incredibly high against Power Rangers, he figures, and he also heard about what happened with the Golden Lord and the Yu-Gi-Oh characters. He figures, you know what? These guys are doing pretty well. Let's see what these villains are up to. Plus, just having Joker along with those villains, just having his commentary there is just good. It adds more character to them. It's just another head in the room. Now for Draken and Rita, because Draken wants Rita's help because he wants to complete a team of Zeo Rangers, and he needs Catherine, and he figures maybe Rita can control her or something like that, which she doesn't have no control over as per se, but she still has that wand, which that's what Draken basically uses to control Catherine. But him making that deal with Rita, she'll work with them because she wants to destroy the Power Rangers. She's still evil. This is a pure evil Rita. This is the same Robo Rita that got destroyed by the Power Rangers, and basically it's just because the Mystic Mother is still a thing. Because my headcanon about characters like Rita and Astronomer, characters that are half evil, half good, your evil half is still out there somewhere. Period. So yeah, so even though the Mystic Mother is a thing, now that Rita exists and the Mystic Mother didn't exist prior to Rita's purification, Rita's going to want to get at her. So I have Mystic Force plans for Rita, but also MMPR plans for Draken mostly, but Mystic Force plans for Rita. Because right now, Rita's at a point where she just doesn't want another duplicate. Whereas Astronomer was more concerned about Rogexio. She probably should have been more concerned about Corone. That's why she got her dropped in Winterfell. But Rita's different than Astronomer. Rita's actually concerned about her good self, because her good self is literally like some sort of good witch goddess and stuff like that. She don't like that, so she wants to deal with that. Now we get to the Huntress concert. Now my girl told me to watch K-pop Demon Hunters, and I enjoyed this so much that it was seamless. It was seamlessly for me to put them in here. Like, it was just easy. My headcanon already knew what to do, so I'm like, okay. They can just go to a concert, and it will allow me to flesh certain characters out, allow me to give Terranort some human room to breathe, Morty, Nominee, Thanos, and Lucky Vaughn. The thing about having a big pool of characters is I get to pick which ones I want to flesh out and which ones I want to flesh out a little bit later. So for this one, I kind of need to flesh out Lucky Vaughn, because he's the Red Ranger of that team, essentially, and I kind of want to flesh out Thanos, Morty, just the characters that were mentioned, and Ming especially, because I have big plans for Ming in the future. Because Ming, like, they took her more far away because Rangers is getting bodied and stuff like that, and Zack don't want her to die, so he's kind of scared. But they get themselves in a situation where if she would have had her morpher, she would have been fine. When Athena, the pumpkin rapper, and Michael Jackson attack the huntress on stage, she doesn't have her morpher. She can't morph. And she gets transformed into stone. Which wouldn't have happened if y'all would have gave her her morpher, or if y'all would have let her align with the flawless military. In fact, you needed to ask Terranort to bring her back to that headquarters, because she could have probably been cracked, because Athena was bodying stone statues. She didn't care if you were human or not. And it got to a point where they got into a fight. The huntresses were trying to get there, but they hired stand users, because stand users are a thing too. They've been introduced since episode 1, where you see Prosciutto with Shion, because Prosciutto and Pesci work for Shion. La Squadra works for Shion. That's why, because Shion was a mafioso. That's why she got beef with SPD, because she was a mafioso. Because after Kingdom Hearts 3, Shion kind of became like a mob boss in a sense, and then SPD kind of shut her down, but she broke out of prison and stuff like that. But she's trying to do better and stuff, because her and Rogexu got into it. So, but that's still a problem. But the point is, now that there's stand users here, Dan is Steely Dan. I just really wanted to beat him up, because that scene where he gets beat up, because he's such a jerk. And the girls, they fight him, and he has the lover's requiem. Now, a requiem stand is basically an evolved version of what the stand is. For context, Dan the Steel's stand is one of the weakest stands, and it can only really invade somebody's body and manipulate them from there. Like, if you were to hit him, like let's say if he sent the stand inside your brother's body, and you would have snuffed Dan the Steel, your brother would take 10 times that amount of pain. That's how his powers work. But considering that this is a requiem version of it, it would just be a mass duplicating stand. Because that's essentially what the lovers was when they was fighting him in the brain canal. Even though it needed to use the brain canal to do that as Requiem, it would just duplicate naturally. And it would still be able to invade brains, but with the tech that they have, because there's been so many situations where Power Rangers have been transformed into stuff, whereas Beatrice, Batman, and the scientists of the flawless military developed countermeasures. Basically, they cloned Osmosis Zone and Drix, and they basically got them in every freaking morpher. So, like, people being transformed into stone don't work. Although it can still work, it fluctuates really. In this specific circumstance, it just didn't work. And I still need the cathartic way to get rid of Dan, and what better way to do it than have Jotaro come there and beat the crap out of him, because he is a JoJo villain, so get beat up by a JoJo. And the girls, they kind of get back to the concert. Now, back at the concert, Tommy and Sora get led away. Tommy gets led away because Draken takes control of Catherine, and now Tommy has to go after Catherine. And Sora gets led away because Necrosis just grabs Sora while Master Xehanort and him are having some friendly, not so friendly dialogue. And Riku shows up because Rita possessed Riku in the arc during the Dr. Vivitive arc. She possessed Riku, and Riku already was kind of volatile when it came to Namine's arc, where he was kind of just dismissive and just thought she needed help. But now he's literally deliberately doing it to hurt Namine. And Namine's a being of pure light. And if you hurt somebody's feelings enough, they can still muster enough word to say the F word. So that's just natural human instincts. So Namine's going to be really heated with Riku. She was already mad at Riku. She was already cursing like a sailor because Riku already made her feel some type of way. This just put the icing on the cake of how she felt about Riku. Whereas she might be a little bit more volatile. Like, she was trying to be understanding, but now Namine's going to be something else. And basically, now Morty being on the battlefield is very interesting, because all of the Star Force Rangers are interesting because mostly Power Rangers usually don't come equipped with their own powers, but the Star Force Rangers are interesting. And so, like, for instance, Vaughn is literally Rogexio's son, so he could kind of do what Rogexio could do, but just a diet version of that. Freaking Luisa Madrigal has the gift of strength. That's power that she got from Encanto. Namine has memory powers. Amon and Aegon and Helena, all three of them have fire-breathing dragons, and Helena literally is, like, she can see the future and stuff like that. Freaking, but Morty, Rick and Morty is one of the most broken universes ever. The way their universes work, they completely obliterate entire planets by accident. Morty had to go to another universe just because he had beef with squirrels, just because the whole planet got Mr. Frundles. I'm Mr. Frundles! Morty is an incredibly terrifying opponent. If he were to be a Power Ranger, he would employ some of the tactics that the villains do. Because what do the Power Ranger villains love to do? I'm going to transform you into sneakers! That's basically a lot of them. They like transforming people into stuff. Morty can do that. Rick has that technology, and Morty got that on deck. He is grandkid. So he was turning the putties into cheeseburgers. and teleporting them into different eras in time. Like, they got trampled by wildebeest, they got the Mufasa treatment, and they also got Game of Thrones Season 8 treatment. And this alarms Athena, because the rest of the Rangers, they're battle-oriented, but Morty's thinking outside the box. Morty's transforming people into stuff, and Athena's one phobia, the one thing she is afraid of being, is a rat. Again, she doesn't want to be a rat. Once she found the crash out switch, she finally got some slither of divinity left, and she kind of wants to keep it that way. She just doesn't want to be a rat. But what ends up freaking happening is, they end up pressing crap, like Morty ends up shooting her and turning her into a rat, but she's kind of already a rat, because all the crash out switch kind of did was malform her to a point where it brought out her inner demon, which is why she looks like an angel. But like, if you were to strip her of all that, she'd still be a rat. So turning her to a rat wouldn't work. She just came back to normal and blasted Morty, and now she's crashing out because she remembers being transformed into a rat. And she kills everybody there except for the Rangers. They just get knocked out real quick, except for Lucky Vaughn. Lucky, that was literally a love tap to him because he put the Pegasus armor on. That's why he showed up with the Pegasus armor. But at this point, Rogexio and Madara show up and undid all the crap that she did with the Grand Reversal, and they did Renee Rebirth, because their souls, they got there fast enough for their souls to meet the afterlife. Because since Necro Valley is still in play, if their souls meet that afterlife, they can't go beyond that because Necro Valley blocks it. But their souls are still transferring into the air. They can get a good number of them back. Not everybody got saved, by the way, because like there's probably like a good, I'd say like good 30 people that still lost their souls in that event, because casualties, but a good chunk of the people that were saved from that venue. So, Madara puts Athena in a Genjutsu. In that Genjutsu, she thinks she's a rat, and she sees me there. And I'm just there with my Pink Ranger hoodie, watching 50 Cent on TV, and I quickly turn into Forge, and she's just a rat, and it's torment for her. But Master Xehanort freezes time, stopping her from getting erased by Rogexio and Madara, which would only work on Rogexio for about 3 seconds, because that's how her powers work. Like, if Rogexio has to deal with something that she's never dealt with, she would adapt to it eventually. So, like, he had enough time to basically tell Athena she was being stupid, but not enough time to not get rocked by Rogexio. And by that time, the huntresses are showing up, and they're really mad. Yeah, Rumi, Mira, and Zoe, they're pissed. You just killed all of their fans. Now you're gonna get nothing but hands. You're gonna get nothing but K-pop hands. You're gonna get nothing but Dominican goddess hands. You're gonna get nothing but Uchiha Blaze, and you're gonna get nothing but Lucky Vaughn's Q Ranger hands. You're going to get hands. And Athena got jumped. They beat Athena like she owed them money. Like Athena did something personal to every single one of their family members. That's how badly Athena got. She got beaten so badly that she was a ratigan, and she had to run for her life. She was a super speed rat, and they were trying to catch up to her. But this leads up to another thing that I've set up since day one. Poseidon. 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 Yes, I'm an epic musical fan, guys. But yeah, my boy Poseidon, he's actually Ikagan and Inkworth's father. Basically the father for that whole Cthulhan race, because the reason why that race was created in the first place was Rogexio scattered his remains in space. They met each other back in space, but they've been Cronenberged and warped by space itself. So by the time Poseidon reformed himself, he looked like, a Cthulhan, like an Ikagan kind of creature. So more or less, that's how the Cthulhan race happened. That's how the planet got there, and eventually Frieza's family members come and blow it up, and then the planet regenerates because it's a self-regenerating order planet and stuff like that. And Frieza's ancestors are none the wiser until Frieza finds out later in episode 9, which I didn't put in the movies. You would actually have to watch the individual episode 9 to get to Frieza plot. But basically now, yeah, Poseidon also wants smoke with Rogexio, because Rogexio ripped Poseidon apart because Poseidon be SAing people. She did the same thing to Zeus, because he also, the SA, transforming people into stuff. Rogexio, long story short, y'all took Odysseus away from Calypso, and she decided to make it, y'all did two things wrong. Y'all took Odysseus away, y'all malformed Medusa, and y'all left her on an island to rot because of a prophecy. Yep, that was enough to make Calypso make the Greek gods and everything her problem. And that's what she did. But the thing is, since this is a multiverse series that spans several resets and spans several iterations of these Greek gods, so like there'll be other versions of these characters, like the Disney versions for like Hercules' sake, but they're like outside of different realms, which is why I explained for the Kamen Riders where Tsukasa, Gintaro, and all the other Kamen Riders would exist. They would exist outside this realm, and this universe is its own thing. It just happens to have all this other stuff in it. So basically, yeah, Athena gets bodied, and Poseidon says, "Your days are numbered, Calypso." And Madara wants to fight Poseidon right then and there, but Poseidon ignores him because, as far as Poseidon's concerned, this is just a lonely mortal. I don't care about you. You're a mortal with special eyes, and That's how Poseidon thinks. Which we'll see what happens in the future, because Madara's going to remember that. Madara remembers every slice. But now, the fight between Captain Marvelous and Decade happens, because I set Decade as a galactic crash out all the way back in episode 7, when you see him along with, when Astronomer and Clipper get brought back, and you see him there with the Psycho Rangers, Golden Lord, Ikage, Madoko, Diddy, and Kyburn and all of them. But yeah, speaking of Diddy, I just put Diddy in the episode where he just got freaking arrested in a sense. And I just realized now, that's Diddy's nobody. Yeah, that's Diddy's nobody. I'll figure out what I'm going to do with that Diddy character eventually, whenever I decide to cover that. But basically, Kamen Rider Decade is fighting Marvelous because the crash out switch affected him. Because long story short, it was Madoko who hit him with the crash out switch. It wasn't Ikage, it was Madoko. Important distinction. And with that crash out switch, and Decade fulfilled everything that Dr. G said he was going to do in Kamen Rider Decade. He was going to destroy the world. But what Decade, since the multiverse is vast, he did destroy the world. But you destroyed a world. You destroyed Kamen Riders. There's still other riders out there with the same powers. That makes it so Decade could still have that weight to them, and if I ever want to get to the original riders, I can. So now Decade comes to fight Tommy, and at this point in time, Tommy doesn't have access to all of his powers. He doesn't. He doesn't have the Green Ranger, the Black Dino Thunder, or any of the Zeo and Turbo. He only has White Ranger, and he's going to get washed. Even if Tommy had all of his powers, Decade would probably win that fight. Let's be honest, guys. Let's put an equalizer there. Captain Marvelous shows up. It's been a long time since we've seen Captain Marvelous. The last time we seen Captain Marvelous, he was helping out Yugi and Kaiba. But now, he's helping out Tommy. And I swear, I drooled. I was giddy like a kid when I made this episode, because the one thing I always wanted to see was Captain Marvelous and Tommy on the same screen together, side by side. The two goats, the best Power Ranger, the best Sentai Warrior. Oh my God, it was just, this episode was so much fun for me to make. And you know, they went into the battle. The first one was Kabuto. And it's Kabuto. It's literally one of the most busted Kamen Riders ever. That's the first rider that Decade turns into. And the second one is Wizard. The reason why is because I wanted Decade to turn into a rider outside of his original 10 rider rings that he goes into. Because every Sentai movie usually does that. Like, for instance, if Captain Marvelous was in a new Sentai movie and Q Ranger just came out and he didn't have those powers, one of them Gokai's are going to transform into a Q Ranger. So that was my headcanon for that. But this is a Power Ranger centric world, and I kind of want to set up the Kamen Riders, so Decade wasn't going to win this fight. Decade's still alive, by the way. He's not dead. The power's just scattered. It was just a big scatter. He's kind of purified in a way, and I'll get to Tsukasa, what's going on with him. But that creates a bunch of riders, which many different characters get rider belts, and then the Christmas special happens. And I'm so glad for this Christmas special, because I needed to find a way to get Sora out of the Croesus clutches anyway. And Jack Skellington was the perfect person to do so, because now we get to put him onto this Christmas plot. And Santa Claus needs help, because the multiverse is too big. It's too many people. Too many people, because I've included way too much stuff in this multiverse. Plus, if we take into account that each of this multiverse also has NPCs and regular people that have nothing to do with the main characters, yeah, that's over an inconceivable number of people to take into account. So yeah, Santa needed help. Flo's military helped out. They was able to organize everything and then give the presents out and just make sure everybody got a Merry Christmas, and made sure the people that got the coal that they were supposed to deserve. And this was going to make Ikage mad, because Ikagen's already mad. Well, Ikagen's already mad. Like, he woke up, he see a big black bowl of coal. He puts it with his collection of coal, because Ikage never threw the coal away. Well, no, he's greedy. He's a hoarder. He hoards everything. So he just hoarded the coal. And now that he has the Kamen Rider wing, because the ring didn't choose Ikagen. The ring actually killed Ikagen, but since he's a Cthulhu and Cthulhans can resurrect, he kind of just came back and forced the ring to obey his will. Now that he has this power, he created a bunch of Bah Humbugs. And these Bah Humbugs are going to go and basically inconvenience the entire universe. They're going to try to kill people, try to hurt people, and do stuff like that. And Ikagen's not even doing this to rule the galaxy or nothing like that. He's literally doing this to be petty. He's literally doing this because he woke up, he got a big thing of coal, and he wanted to make it everybody's problem. That's Ikagen's prerogative right there. And he's using the birthday monster to do this. And a lot of people didn't get a chance to see the birthday monster. Well, he was in Cosmic Fury, but they didn't use him for what he's supposed to be utilized for. The birthday monster in Q Ranger is a monster that takes away people's birthdays. Like, the very concept of the birthday is gone. Like, your present's gone. Your streamer's gone. You're like, bro, if somebody gave you a cake, the cake would just disappear. People can't even say happy birthday. They were stripping those words away from people's mouths, like the word photo in Kingdom Hearts 2. Yeah, but since we have Kamen, who's basically the evil version of Dexter and Beatrice, he's the scientist, he's their version of the scientist, he basically made it so the birthday monster just takes away Christmas for everybody. And he's just collecting all their gifts and stuff like that, and this is going to make everybody mad, especially the flawless military, who literally just spent the last 12 hours delivering Christmas gifts to the entire multiverse. And it's also going to piss Vegeta and Goku off too, because Vegeta was just sitting there chilling with his family, and then now all of a sudden his gifts are gone. Trunks is over here complaining, his baby crying, Bulma's over here yelling at him, telling him to figure it out, calling Goku and stuff. Future Trunks is there because I want him there, because I don't care if he went back to the future. This is my story and you're going to be in this timeline. But basically, yeah, so the Z Fighters come and the Rider Belts chose them. Why wouldn't they? They're the Z Fighters. They literally protect the universe. Why wouldn't the Rider Belts manifest the power for them? So yeah, they got their own powers, and Jack Skeleton got his. So essentially, now the Christmas plot is about to happen, and this will probably be like a season finale. Anything that happens after this next Christmas episode is going to be season 2. I just wanted to go over a quick overview video and just let everybody know where they stand as far as Power Rangers being a Power Ranger is concerned. Now, if you like anything I have to say, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Have a marvelous day. May the power protect you. Vala Magulis, Vala the Huntress. May your heart be your guiding key, and stay out of trouble.